Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Dismal Disney. Well, I don't know if it's dismal per se, but they had a very awkward earnings call earlier today. That was the Q4 earnings call. I actually sat in on that call.
Well, according to the media, it's amazing and it's full of good news.
According to the media, this is a very different takeaway from what I got out of this call. Now Disney's revenue overall is up. Their earnings are up a little
compared to last year or quarter or last year at the same time.
Last year at the same time, but they also did beat Wall Street's estimates, but Wall Street did adjust their estimates down a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true.
But
they forgot to mention that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did forget to mention that. But there was a lot of awkwardness around questions pertaining to Star Wars and to parks attendance.
And the cost.
And the cost. All Disney wanted to talk about, all Bob Iger wanted to talk about was Disney Plus. And we're going to talk about that. I made a couple of notes here. And I'll talk about some of the impressions I got from it. We'll talk about, Geeky and I are going to talk about overall kind of what's going on. Mm-hmm. But, it definitely, the media's takeaway is a little bit different than I think the actuality was. And that's Disney. Disney's trying to control the spin. And they are in full-on spin mode when it comes to the parks. Yeah. When it comes to Star Wars. They got lucky with the Lion King.
And it seems like they keep defending their choice for Star Wars.
Yes.
And they're like, and attendance is flat, guys. It didn't really change.
No.
So that's flat. So that is not an improvement. But money is up, and there's a reason for that, which we'll get into shortly. Go ahead. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're at about 72,000 subs, hoping for 100,000 soon. Now, please make sure you are still subscribed, because some of you are getting unsubscribed, and you're not asking to be unsubscribed. We're just getting all kinds of messages. Hey, I got unsubscribed. We had nothing in it. That's YouTube. Mm-hmm. They're doing some weird stuff. Yeah, that's not the best.
Yeah. So I couldn't wait for people's hot takes on this earnings call. I sat through it. It was awkward. I thought it was very, very awkward. They immediately started case building for Disney Plus and how the Fox acquisition was a fantastic move.
And it's going to save us all, even though we probably aren't going to pay back for it for like 2 or 3 years. But
Yeah, that's pretty much right out of the gate, Bob Iger's like, yeah, I know, guys, we spent a bunch of money.
I think he spent way more money than he was allotted to spend,
Yeah. He's
Why is he taking it out of his money then?
That's a good question. But he's like, I know we spent a lot of money, but it's going to pay off. Honest, things are going to be great. It's going to be great. They were really trying very hard to steer the entire conversation toward Disney Plus. And this is Disney. They always start with the positives first. So the positive, Disney Plus is going to launch. Hey, Bob, how many subs do you have to it so far? No comment. They won't comment on that. They said after it gets going, they will let people know.
That's questionable.
They're like, how many pre-sales did you do, Bob? They wouldn't answer.
You're only answering the shareholders on...
Well, they said they'll have data they said they will be transparent with the shareholders at a later date.
Whoa. We're going to be transparent with the shareholders at a later date. The fact that they won't answer the question is weird to me, because if it was gangbusters and amazing, you'd say, oh my gosh, let me tell you about the millions of subs we already have pre-ordered.
That would be a talking point. Yeah, this is Disney. This is it. You guys have to understand. This is how Disney always spins things. It's always whatever part of the glass is half full. That's what they start with, so they can break the bad news later or bury the bad news.
Well, I think part of the reason, people might not be pre-ordering Disney Plus yet is because a lot of people want to do like the bundles and things.
Yeah.
And they don't have those up yet. So you can't bundle it until that's out. So like for us, we already have our Hulu as our main television, and we're gonna bundle it, and we can't do that.
Yeah, we don't have the option to even do that
yet.
Yeah,
so a lot of people, I think they can't really say about pre-orders, but I don't know. I just think it's a great question. You should be able to give some kind of estimated figure. We have over this much or something, but they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, they said that the test market in the Netherlands went well. They talked about how on March 31st they're going to roll it out in Europe and other countries. Yeah, but it was all this whole conversation was about Disney Plus, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But Disney is literally betting the farm on Disney Plus.
No, literally bet the company.
They bet the company on Disney Plus, and here's the thing: that's going to be Bob Iger's legacy. Either that was the absolute right move to do, buying Fox and putting all this money into Disney Plus, or that's the kill shot for Disney, that actually is what tripped them up.
Well, it's not gonna kill Disney, but it's
it's definitely gonna take them out of the running. Now, there were a lot of tough questions asked by.
Please share some of these questions.
Yeah, so I've got some of the notes jotted down here, but of course, they have investor questions they'll take later, and they're not going to take my questions, but they had people from.
Did you put them in?
No.
I'm like,
it was only an hour-long call, but they had people from Morgan Stanley, they had people from Citi, JP Morgan Chase, the big investment firms, and I don't remember who exactly asked all the questions. I do remember the very first question was about Star Wars. Mm-hmm. The very first question asked was basically,
what the heck are you doing?
Pretty much. Is Star Wars in decline? How with Marvel and Star Wars?
Did he get up and say, no, it's just a vocal minority?
In a very corporate
He did. I was kidding.
Something like that. So
I was kidding.
I'm trying to remember the question exactly, but the first question was about Marvel and Star Wars. It said, where are these brands going to go forward? And of course, at first I believe he talked about Marvel and all the positives. Hey, we have another Thor coming. We got the Eternals coming. Marvel's super popular. It's a big brand. Yada yada. Spin spin. And then you got the Lucasfilm. And then the question was kind of weird. And again, I'm trying to remember who asked what question.
Well, you know what? You kept writing me the whole time. It's on my iPad. If you want me to give me a minute, I'll pull them up. What you're writing me as you're writing it.
Why don't we do that? Yes, might jog my memory a little bit because it was kind of a blur. It was an hour-long call. I did jot some stuff down.
All this. Ooh.
Okay, so I was...
Okay, so here's what you're saying.
Here's what I'm saying, and this will jog my memory. Okay, so I was writing you as I was listening. They're banking on the rise of Skywalker. Let me see here.
Morgan Stanley asked about Marvel and Lucas.
Okay, guy from Morgan Stanley asked about Marvel and Lucas, and
they asked about the Star Wars decline.
They did. These are my so for those of you who are trying to follow what's going on here, Geeky has her iPad with my Facebook Messenger
as it was happening.
As it was happening, I was writing her. I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
So Morgan Stanley asking about Marvel and Lucas. LOL asking Bob Iger about Star Wars decline. Nervous coughing. LOL.
And
here's what he said. Ben, when we think about Marvel and Star Wars, we think of them as more than just films.
Yes. So that was the point he was trying to make. They were very dodgy. The very first question was basically about Star Wars declining. That was coming from Morgan Stanley. Like, we're hearing a lot about Star Wars decline. Do you want to comment on that? And they were like, oh, yeah, so Star Wars, we think about more than just movies because they're trying to dodge.
Which is funny because in another interview he said that they were always going to make sure Star Wars was movies front and center. That was they were more about movies than TV. Yeah. He just said that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there was. So anytime Star Wars came up, they changed the subject.
Well, you said then he said he was talking about Star Wars as TV, and then said we have Eternals coming.
Yeah, with Marvel, he's talking about all these other things they have coming. But with Star Wars, basically, it's like, oh, Star Wars is a bigger brand than just movies. What he was trying to say is, yeah, you've heard the bad news about the movies bombing. That doesn't matter. We got stuff coming to Disney Plus. We've got but then I'm like, well, the theme park didn't do too good.
Well, here you have that. So they're going to be transparent with sub counts to investors. You're talking about Disney Plus.
Yes.
Talking about third parties like Amazon Fire TV. Oh, I mean, the fact they want to let them run it on Fire TV?
They are. Apparently, they worked something out with Amazon. That was a
big thing to worry about.
Yeah, Amazon wasn't. For those of you who don't know, Amazon was not going to carry the Disney Plus app
but apparently,
at launch.
A lot of money probably changed.
A lot of money changed hands. Yeah.
Or there was some trade and whatever. Someone called out lower attendance.
Yes. Okay. So.
And then she said, "This lady is talking about their prices being too high in the parks." Amen. And he said, "We're trying to increase the park experience by spreading the demand out."
Yeah, so
basically we're trying to make people come less, so people that pay a lot can be there more.
Yes.
That never works. That's a load of shit.
That is their excuse they've been using. Basically, we meant to fail.
Well, no, it's not we meant to fail, but basically we're raising prices so it makes it more exclusive for those who want to come, so there's not as many crowds, because we're hearing a lot of complaints about crowds. But you know damn well that if 100 people were willing, if they were hoping for 50, but yet 100 people came, they let all 100 people in, even if it would make it bigger crowds. And then, you know darn well they take everyone, even if they can suddenly afford it, they'd be like, they take them anyway. So there's not about, it's like we meant to fail. It's not about crowd control. It's about, that's our excuse for why we have no
bleeding
crowds.
The gas. So so she thought, I think she was from JP Morgan Chase, and I'm trying to remember, she said something, she's basically like, there have been a lot of complaints about the prices going up, and it's like, have you guys hit a ceiling on the prices. So these investors
the prices are getting out of control. They really are.
Yeah, so the investors are paying attention, and they were trying to air their grievances.
Everything we've been mentioning on this channel that everybody keeps telling us we're full of crap about.
Yeah.
Price is too high.
Yep.
Star Wars not doing that great. Disney Plus might be a bad decision. Everything that we have been saying, the investors started asking. But what do we flippin' know here at Clownfish TV? We're just a bunch of negative Disney haters.
We are. So yeah, he was like, well, that's not a problem. Basically, we meant to fail. And they did say that, yeah, the park's attendance is flat, or I think somebody said it was down 1%. But and we'll talk about here. We'll go to these articles here from the Orlando Sentinel. But it was up 5% in revenue because
8%. I thought
8%. Is it 8%?
I thought it was 8%.
I thought they said 5 in the meeting. But that's because they're bleeding the guests for more. They're talking about like their increased ticket price, and they were very perky about it. Like, yes, because due to ticket price increases and hotel increases and food increases, we've managed to increase revenue by 5%, even though the attendance isn't up.
Yeah, because we're just, bilking everyone out of every penny for every little thing. I mean, we're talking like souvenirs going up $2 here, 50 cents there. It might not seem like a lot, but when you have thousands of people buying them, it adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah, they kept wanting to, usually they crow about the parks, and we're going to talk about the Orlando Sentinel's take on this too. Usually they crow about the parks. This earnings call, anytime anybody brought Star Wars or the theme parks up, anything remotely negative, they immediately sort of.
Well, here, I will continue. You said the Falcon ride runs smooth. Iger is feisty.
He was feisty.
They keep asking about Star Wars and the park attendance decline, and he's getting pissed, trying to steer back to Disney Plus. These are your notes as it was happening.
My notes. Okay.
As it was happening. Yeah, those are just some of the big people, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, etc. The first question was Star Wars. What's up with Star Wars? A guy from Citi said there are too many streaming apps. How is Disney going to deal with that?
That was a good one. Okay, so yeah, there was a guy from Disney.
Well, here's more. Citi called it the same thing about this. A niche app. Iger's pissed. It's not niche. It's a broader wait, here's the thing. A broader creative monetization play. What the fuck does that even mean? Citi is basically like, it's going to have limited appeal, Bob. It's all Disney. LOL, that's not a concern. Brands will matter.
That's what he said. Something
so go ahead and talk about that. But
so
you said,
this guy from
what does that even mean?
So these, Disney was humoring these investors, and they had some legit questions. Again, these are questions we talk about all the time on Clownfish TV. Other YouTubers talk about, and they're legit questions. A guy from Citi was like, there are so many streaming apps out there, Bob. Don't you feel that Disney Plus is a little too niche? Like, don't you think Hulu has a better shot at being...
Well, they own that now.
Yeah.
They're controlling interest in it. But yeah.
He's like, basically, shouldn't you focus more on Hulu since it has broader appeal than just Disney Plus?
Because Disney Plus is a broader creative monetization play.
And there was more to it than that. That was like part of it. And he had this 15-word sentence to describe what the hell Disney Plus was. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? The answer is, he's just trying to be like, don't ask me, don't look at the man behind the curtain.
It's funny because Neon's moving his hands as he's talking, trying to make this thing look at my hands, but you guys can't see any of that. So he's really, really good.
I got jazz hands.
Not letting you see what's going on because you can't see him.
But yeah, so then they tried to blame the lower than expected quarterly park attendance on the hurricane that lasted a week.
We called that, and it didn't even hit Florida the whole way. We called that. For months. They're going to blame it on Dorian.
Yeah, because the woman asked, she said, well, your park attendance was down. What's up with that? And they're like, well, Hurricane Dorian.
It didn't even last a week.
It was like such a non-hurricane by Florida standards.
Okay, yeah, here's someone. Here you go. You're reading this.
Someone else
asking about park attendance slowing down. They won't give a time frame for Disney Plus to be profitable. We still feel very good about the demand for our parks. Guest satisfaction is very good.
That was, again, these are...
Don't answer the question. Guest satisfaction is very good. We still feel very good. Everything is very good.
Yeah.
Good.
Beep, boop, bop.
Good.
Oh, God. They were giving non-answers. People were asking some tough questions, and they would not answer the damn questions. with an honest answer. I mean, look, they were legit as investors. Those were legit answers. Your parks attendance is down. Star Wars is not doing well.
Right.
You know,
why? What do you think? How do you think Disney Plus is going to stand out when everybody and their brother have better apps coming out? And,
Pretty
and
much.
you're not leveraging the one good one that we have that has a lot of power behind it. These are fair questions. These are questions we ask on this channel all the time, and we get so much crap for it. Here's the rest of what you wrote for me. They're wrapping it up. It was awkward. Everybody asking about the parks decline, Star Wars decline, and when Disney Plus will be profitable. And they said not for 2 to 3 years anyway.
They said 2 to 3 years, yeah.
It was awkward, and Iger seemed pretty testy.
He was.
Same tired stuff we've heard. They're waiting for the rise of the resistance. Star Wars is fine. We have lots of TV projects in development. Yeah, the spin has begun. They danced around parks attendance decline, said it'll be fine after rise of the resistance, which we've mentioned before. Oh, it was 5%. I said, hey, they gouged her by 5%. So there's that. You said, LOL. But hey, we gouged her by 5%. So there's that.
Yeah, so the attendance is flat. So let's look at the Orlando. Again, none of the articles out here, I'm really surprised. All they're focusing on is Disney's revenue was up. What they're not looking at is where was it up? And it's almost like they're using the Lion King, the success of that, and getting people pumped about Disney Plus, that they're not addressing. They're refusing to address the parks decline.
They're refusing to address Star Wars.
Star Wars. They won't, and those are the two big things. And they're just like, oh, don't worry about it. We got Disney Plus coming. It's all good. Everything's good here. Hey, Lion King made a lot of money, guys. Lion King made lots of money.
You're like, yay. Say something negative. Yay.
Lion King sucked.
He can see! He can see!
All right, so this is coming from the Orlando Sentinel. The theme park bloggers have not missed this. They haven't. So good on them. Disney CEO Bob Iger defends Star Wars open. He was testy. He was like, don't freaking ask me about Star Wars.
Well, it was pretty bad because you said he was being a bit of a dick.
He was. Some Disney fans are delaying vacations, they said, to California.
This is true.
Florida.
I know this is true.
Yeah. Executives said until it's 100%.
Well, no, I think this has something to do with that. I think people were, and it was, I still say it was stupid to open Galaxy's Edge without Rise of the Resistance. But people are waiting because of that. And they're also waiting because, hey, the 50th anniversary is in 2021. So a lot of people are waiting for that as well.
If you only go once every couple of years,
you're just gonna wait.
And it's a construction site. Every park, like they got Hollywood Studios
Epcot's
pretty much done. So now Epcot's a mess. So Bob Iger spoke out, and they're not getting the inflection across either. He was testy.
Well, read it in the way he was saying it.
Those two lands have been far more successful than what's been reported.
Bullshit.
Iger said Thursday during an earnings call, guests are spending more on food, beverages, and merchandise.
Yeah, because you're bilking guests.
Because they jacked it up.
It's actually in the notes they gave out for the meeting. You're bilking guests.
He also, I forgot, he got a dig in there too. He said that the guest satisfaction is very, very high. He gave a crazy stat that already 5 million people have rode the Falcon ride. And he also said something.
Both parks combined?
I think it's both parks combined.
Wait, but that's okay. If it's both parks combined and it's been open how long and 5 million people have ridden it, how come it hit 1 million riders so quickly, supposedly, way back after it opened?
What? Well, this is like page views or hits versus unique visitors. Did we have 1 million verified unique individuals, or did we have 1 million people total get pushed through, including people who have ridden multiple times, including cast members?
I'm sure.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Because if it's 5 million people, and they're talking about for both parks, right? That's what it sounds like they're talking about, because he said the land's plural.
Yeah.
He's talking about both parks. How could 5 million people have ridden the Falcon in both parks when they claimed 1 million people had ridden it like within a month of opening at Disneyland? I mean, we're talking months down the road, and they're talking 2 parks running. I'm just saying.
I don't know. It's Disney math. It's like Common Core.
I'm just saying.
Disney math is like Common Core. But he was talking about how the attraction doesn't go down because he was getting a jab in at Hagrid's, even though Hagrid's, by most people's,
I've heard from a lot of people, Hagrid's is way better.
It is.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway.
So it's not the first time the executives have discussed smaller than expected crowds at Galaxy's Edge. In the August earnings call, Disney disclosed a rare attendance drop for the first quarter after Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge opened. The company released its latest earnings Thursday, which exceeded Wall Street expectations.
Which they lowered.
They did lower those a couple weeks ago. Much of the discussion with the investors on the call centered around the new Disney streaming service. That's literally 95% of it. And when they asked about something else, Iger kept pushing them back to Disney+.
I have to laugh, though. So it exceeded Wall Street expectations. All I keep thinking is, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but let's say that Wall Street said it was going to be up 10% originally.
Yeah.
And then they lowered it to like 5. but it hit 6, or 5.5. It beat the expectations. Good. I don't know what the numbers are.
Okay, this was Christine McCarthy, the company's chief financial officer. That was her name, Christine. Acknowledged that people are pushing back their vacations because of rise. I don't think that's it. I think it's also the rise of the prices.
I think the prices are a lot to do with it. People can't go as often, and a lot of people say they aren't going anymore. They're just done.
They're done. And annual passes, they can't sell them now because they jacked them up 25%.
Oh, they're up 5% on bookings.
Bookings. Okay, that's what it was. Compared with the previous year. We feel really good about the momentum we have going into the next fiscal year. Disney's attendance was also hurt by the threat of Hurricane Dorian.
It was one flippin' week.
It was not threatened that much. That did not ding it for the whole quarter.
That did not cause it to be flatlined or down 1% for like 1 week at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, it did go down. I was right. It was down by 1%. 1%. It went down, but they did 5 to 8% more revenue because this quarter they jacked prices like crazy, and they're going to jack them going into 2020. I guarantee.
The hurricane would ding it 1 whole percentage.
It did not. It did not. They're just looking for very convenient excuses to feed to the media, and they did not. I don't really think they expected the hardball questions they got, because they did not seem to have answers.
I was right. It's 8% for the whole, or 8 for the whole quarter, 6% for the parks. Of that 6%, 1% was probably me, because I've been buying a shit ton of stuff. Anyway,
yeah, you keep buying this stuff and you encourage them.
They keep making awesome bracelets.
You encourage them.
I have to have them. And they have like 3 more I gotta have now. I need the bracelets.
So they are talking about how they expect attendance to rise in the parks when Rise of the Resistance comes out, unless it sucks. If it sucks, it's not worth traveling to.
I like to say I don't think it's going to, but I do worry they're going to cut corners onto something. I really worry they're going to make it.
Yeah, so here, everybody is sort of burying this in there. They're talking about how, wow, everything's coming up roses for Disney. Total revenue of $19.1 billion. The quarter exceeded analyst estimate for $19.04 billion.
I was going to say it's like a half of or whatever, and it was.
Yeah, the revenue figure rose a robust 34%.
Wait, if that was the estimate, what was it originally before they lowered it?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
So interestingly enough, was it like 20 billion? And we hit 19.1, which is better than 19.4.
I'd have to look it up, but yeah, I think it was considerably better. So they said it rose 34%, but they had the Lion King.
I don't understand that, because a lot of people didn't like the Lion King. They said it wasn't that good. They said it was really creepy.
Yeah.
I've never watched it. We have.
Right? That's what's sad.
I won't watch it because I'm too. It's like I don't care.
How much do we care? We actually bought The Lion King on Vudu. It was on sale, and we haven't even bothered to watch it.
I haven't watched most of them. I just don't care.
I'm just like, I don't even have enough. We have Lion King and Aladdin on Vudu.
Pinky Boo's watched Aladdin, and she's watched Does she watch Toy Story 4? No.
I don't think she watched Toy Story 4.
I think they watched Aladdin. We haven't even watched Toy Story 4. No. We've had it all this time. We're always busy, too.
Yeah, but I don't even have enough. I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, well, here's the thing, though. How many more Lion Kings are they going to have?
I don't know.
They're not. They've run out of big hits to remake.
Well, I was just thinking, unrelated but related, speaking of it's like when you get to a point where you can just see through stuff, you just lose interest. Like, I was doing a story today that they're going to have 3 Christmas specials at the Disney parks. If you go to the piratesandprincesses.net, you can see the Disney blog. Anyway, I was doing the story, and all I kept thinking was, and it starts off, they're going to promote. It's not even about Christmas specials. It's about promoting the parks, Disney World, Disneyland, and Disney Cruise Line. One's Christmas at Walt Disney World. And the whole thing is book a trip. Book a trip. For the love of God, book a trip. It's not even about the holidays so much as it is, let's push all our kids shows. Because one's all the kids cast. Let's push our newest Disney people, and let's push the parks. And that's what it is. It's not even about the holidays. It's about pushing whoever they're going to push this week. Oh, and don't you know the one for the kids? They're going to do a sneak peek of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Oh, okay. Because they want kids to beg their parents to take them to.
Exactly. But was there pictures of Instagram walls? I don't know. Because that's where the real money lies, apparently. And that's what all the kids want to see are the Instagram walls.
So,
Where's the money wall?
The money wall. They need a Scrooge McDuck money bin wall.
That would be awesome.
I would actually go there. We went to the Donald's boat had the map with Scrooge McDuck on it.
Sorry, I sidetracked, but go ahead, back onto it.
That is okay, but they basically are betting everything on Disney Plus. Now they bury it in the middle here on Deadline. Parks and resorts, often the mainstay that keeps the company on track, experienced a wobbly quarter with revenue up just 8%. Revenue, not attendance. Attendance is down. Growth at Disneyland, the company said in its earnings release, was primarily due to higher guest spending, partially offset by the cost of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which opened on May 31st. The company also blamed, to a lesser extent, lower attendance.
Well, they raised the prices on things. Like, after they opened it up, like a couple weeks later, they started jacking prices up on different things.
Yeah, everything. This quarter, going into this quarter, once got out that the attendance had declined.
We saw food increase immediately.
We saw, it was weird. It was this weird juxtaposition of gouging and panic. Like, they were having fire sales to get people to Disney World and Disneyland. But then, meanwhile, they were jacking the pretzels up to like $7.50 or some ridiculous price.
And it's probably true about there was an increase in hotel bookings because they're offering all these ridiculous things. 40% off if you book with your Disney Visa card to stay at the Riviera.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're offering these ridiculous deals to get people down there, and it's working. They're like, they were offering crazy room deals and stuff, and that's why people were coming.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, you're not going to get the whole picture, and I think it's going to take days for people to process this. But there was a hell of a lot of spin. The whole thing came across to me like an infomercial for Disney Plus, and how Disney Plus is going to be the next big thing. And
well, it sounds to me like a lot of the big investing firms are kind of like asking questions we've been asking. It's
yes,
like, that's great, razzle dazzle, but what about this? What about that?
Razzle dazzle.
I'm sorry, he's like razzle dazzle, but what about this?
Glitter.
Sparkles, razzle dazzle, but what about this? Stop being negative.
Yeah.
Stop being negative. Stop being, oh my God, like, your negativity is bringing us all down at this meeting. You need to check it, and you need to go outside, right now.
Never mind that these are some of the biggest investment firms, biggest bankers, biggest money management people out there asking these questions.
The same questions we've been asking, and you do not understand the crap we get for asking these questions.
God.
So people come on here and they're like, you just hate everything Disney. Why do you do Disney videos? You hate Disney. It's like, we don't hate Disney. These investors don't hate Disney. They're banking on Disney. Disney is not answering the hard questions. That's the problem. Disney needs to stop the bullshit and the razzle dazzle, and they need to answer the hard questions, and they refuse to do it. And it's not just us asking these questions. And no amount of Mickey Jazz hands and razzle dazzle and pixie dust enemas is going to change the fact that they're not answering the real question. I love Disney. I spent a lot of money. I'm not joking when I say 1%.
You're Mickey's bitch.
I am.
You're like, Disney, answer some tough questions. Oh my God, that's so shiny.
It is. So I still love Disney, but I don't love what they do. And you can like something, but not agree with what they do. And I'm not agreeing with what they're doing because they're not answering the tough questions. Star Wars, sorry, is in the crap hole. That's where it is. No, like
it's
I said,
called the Sarlacc.
No pixie dust enema is going to pop that puppy out anytime soon. It is down there. It is in there deep. It's a blockage at this point. It needs surgery. And I'm sorry, this whole, okay, but Disney Plus, okay, well, what about, the park attendants? But Disney Plus, it's pixie dust.
Yeah, they're damn lucky they had the Lion King. Because if it wasn't for Lion King, they would have been so screwed. It
would have been better if they said, what about the attendants? And then, hold that thought, here comes Mickey to dance for you.
Dancing like Pennywise and doing the little...
Anyway, sorry.
That's pretty much how it works at the parks, too. You have a complaint, let's bring out Mickey. Let's bring
That's
out
right, they're distracting.
Gift cards. Just throw those gift cards out.
Who's speaking? Oh, it's Geeky? Go get those new Oxani bracelets and dangle them in front of her. She'll be so distracted.
Shiny precious.
It's true. I have a problem.
Oh, what was that? Was that Labyrinth with the old lady in the junkyard?
You say things sometimes that always remind me of that.
You like your bear, don't you? Oh, there you go. It's shiny. Yeah, and they tried to distract you. So this was like, it was just a big rah-rah rally. I mean, look, I get it. This is how every Disney meeting is. They will not answer tough questions because they know the media is going to pick apart any answer they give. So they try to deflect as much as they can. But the tone was different. This was, Bob was, I think he was very irritable because they would not, he wanted to lure them into, just loving everything with Disney Plus, and they were like, no, what about Star Wars? What about the parks?
Because they're asking the question everyone wants to know.
Yeah. You're laughing.
I had a bad thought in my head, and I'm not even going to repeat it. Okay. I'll tell you afterwards, but it made me laugh because, why did it pop in my head? I don't know why I even thought of that. Anyway, it's a very weird thing.
But yeah, they're betting everything on Disney Plus if Disney Plus does not perform well. And I thought it was odd that they would not tell the investors how many pre-sales.
Yeah, that is a bit weird because it's going to start on Tuesday. What difference does it make?
Well, because I think what they're doing is buying time. I think
we don't want Apple to know that we have less than they do, or HBO Max know that we don't have the interest they have.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm going to be completely honest. At this point, I am more interested in HBO Max than I am anything else, because they're getting the anime in, they're getting a lot of, I mean, the shows we watch, they're getting adult animation in, and a lot of the stuff is going to be pulled off of Hulu. South Park and Rick and Morty and all that's going to go to HBO Max. So I don't know, but I agree with the city guys. Like, isn't Disney Plus kind of niche? Isn't it kind of like it's just Disney stuff? And it's not even going to have everything. Like, people are like, oh, it's going to have every Disney ever. No, it's not.
No, they couldn't get the rights back to a lot of things. They already have deals tying things up.
So we will see. But yeah, there you go, guys. According to Disney, everybody's just waiting for Rise of the Resistance. So it better be the best effing ride Disney has ever made.
Because what's their excuse? What is their excuse going to be if it still stays down after that opens?
Oh, there'll be another hurricane, or it was too hot. People didn't come to Florida and California because it was just too hot this year. It's too hot.
There's a recession and people are afraid to spend money.
That is what
that actually might be true.
A lot of people are afraid of. They said if there is a recession with Disney like pushing so hard into expanding the parks like they are, and then the recession hits, the first thing to go is travel. The last time Disney just like stopped everything they were working on was after 9/11, and then when the recession hit too, they just like stopped building stuff. Like stop it because we aren't going to get guests. So I don't know. They better hope we don't get a recession. But yeah, Lion King did well. And Disney Plus is coming.
Good to know.
Disney Plus is coming. Star Wars will be fine because they have TV, direct to TV, and
the broad creative marketing, whatever. And
who needs Star Wars toys?
Just string a line of words together and it explains it all. The synergy of the brand marketing for the creative outreach of the new IP that we are presenting in this next quarter should boost it exponentially over the next 2 years, and then we'll finally make a profit after 3 years. What?
Nobody asked them why they fired everybody in the parks and they shuffled everybody around.
But then how do they pick the questions? I mean, sometimes just regular people ask questions.
Oh, I'm sure they were screened.
I'm sure they are. You have to ask the right questions.
I would have loved if somebody, when Iger gave the answer, if somebody would have been like, "Did you just make that up?"
Well, see,
what does that even mean?
If you want an answer to a question, you have to do something like this. So I'm hearing that Rise of the Resistance might have some record-breaking sales and some of the best numbers ever, which is shit. But can you explain to me the downturn in Star Wars? They might have answered that because it started out with a compliment. You kissed their butt first, and they're so high on the butt kissing that you have to ask them the question in a way that they think that you're patting them on the back and telling them good job.
And Iger just be like, well, you see, Star Wars is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's right, but George Lucas says it's all good. The end.
What? Next question.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
What are we going to do about the increased costs in the parks? Well, with synergy and brand marketing and cross promotion, it should offset the costs of Disney Plus 3 years down the road. What? That didn't make sense. I admit it doesn't make sense, but that doesn't have to make sense.
He just strung words together.
Milkshakes, socks, Minnie Mouse. Next question.
Instagram in the making. So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
I think we're beating this dead mouse.
I have things to do.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was very interesting. Interesting to see how they deflected any and all questions about Star Wars and park attendance, and they put a positive spin.
Right off the top of this, key points. Higher ticket prices didn't deter tourists from taking trips to Disney theme parks during its fiscal fourth quarter. Yeah, it did. It flatlined and went down 1%. Yeah, it did. Higher ticket prices did cause the increase in revenue.
Yeah, and again, the takeaway is, the booked rates at domestic hotels were pacing up 5% because of the ridiculous
They're giving ridiculous sales. Anyway, sorry, I just saw that. Let's just wrap this up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. So we are going to wrap it up.
That's right. Our creative plan of strategy to wrap this up is going to be in a few seconds. Synergy.
Yeah, okay. Please subscribe. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.